A guten Erev Shabbos, a guten Erev Yom Tov. Tomorrow is Shabbat and Yom Tov Pesach together. So we have the most special of special of special Musaf Tfilas in the entire Siddur. The Musaf Tfilah for the Chagim, beginning on page 674, is in and of itself stirring and beautiful and moving, and speaks of our longing to be in Israel, in the Beis HaMikdash, with the Jewish people together as we're meant to be. When you add into that, as we will tomorrow, the prayers for Shabbat, it's all the more special. And this time around, in the Chazin's repetition in Shul on Shabbat morning, the first day of Pesach, even more special, he'll add in the tefillah for Tal, the prayer for dew. Since Shmini Atzeres, we've been saying in our Shmona Esra, Mashiv Haruach Umorid Hageshem. And every second paragraph of the Amidah, morning, noon, and night, you'll see it, this phrase on page 674, 675 in the Musaf Amidah. It says, God makes the wind blow and makes the rain descend. We're going to say that one more time in the silent Shmona Esra, and then when our Chazan repeats the Amidah, we're going to open the Aron Kodesh, and he's going to sing a very beautiful, moving prayer called Tal. That you can find in the Siddur, beginning on page 702. And we will be omitting Mashiv Haruach from our Amidah until this fall, until after all the high holidays, until Shmini Atzeret, when Sukkot is finished. It's time now for the wind to stop blowing, and maybe the rain will taper off a bit for Toronto for sure, although our prayers are always for the land of Israel. As the note says there at the bottom of page 702, dew is the gentle moisture which allows things to grow. And that fits together with the idea of the birth of the Jewish people, the Exodus, which is the freedom that we're celebrating in our Zman Cherusenu, the season, the holiday of our freedom. On the face of it, we just don't want rain on Yom Tov because it's not fun. Definitely on Sukkot, it ruins your soup if you're sitting in the Sukkah while it's raining, right? Even on Pesach, we'd like to be outside, maybe taking a nice walk, not have to worry about getting soaked. Even more, rain is good at a certain point, beyond that point, it can cause flooding, it can wash away the topsoil, damages crops. So even too much of a good thing is not necessarily good. And there's more than just the weather. Of course, there's life. The note on the right side of the notes on 702 is also important. The Chazan says at the beginning of this, at the opening of this prayer, with God's consent, I will speak of mysteries. The idea of dew or tal operates on several levels here. You won't be surprised at first glance. It's the dew that appears in the mornings and nourishes plants. It's also the tal shel tchia, the dew of life, or even resurrection, as we learned a few years ago in Tractate Chagiga. It's in the middle of that Masechta, and it's the last part of a 7-part talk by Reish Lakish, in which he describes the 7 heavens and what each one consists of. The 7th heaven, spoiler alert if you haven't learned it yet, is called Aravos, and it has the treasuries of righteousness and justice, charity and life, peace and blessing, among other things. Tal, or dew, represents chesed, kindness, according to the Maharal of Prague. Tal is a constant, it does not vary, it's always present. If you remember a story in Malachim Aleph in 1 Kings, Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet, decrees a drought upon the land. This was in the times of Achav, not one of our finer moments. However, even Eliyahu's decree is unable to stop the Tal. Rain he can stop, but not dew. This is parallel and most appropriate to think about at this time of year, Pesach, because Pesach happened not because we needed it to happen. God saw that we needed it. Not that we realized that it had to happen. God saw that we needed it. It wasn't because we prepared ourselves or we were even fully ready or even knew that this is what we should be asking for. Hashem saw that it was time for us to go out of Egypt. It was time for our servitude, our slavery, our sojourn in Mitzrayim to end, and God took us out with a strong hand and an outstretched arm, as we'll say in the Haggadah tonight and tomorrow night. Shavuos is a different story. Shavuos will be the culmination of 7 weeks of preparation, introspection, counting the Omer, counting the days, getting ourselves ready. How much we get out of Shavuos depends on a large extent to how much we put into preparing ourselves. But Pesach, the exodus from Egypt, came to us just because we needed it. A manifestation of God's kindness and concern for us, giving us what we need, even when we don't necessarily realize that we need it. So this Pesach, please God, we should feel, it's a good topic to discuss at your Seder if you're looking for topics, we should feel that we are constantly present and engaged in and have a part in the ongoing rebirth, renewal, restoration of the Jewish people, the renewal of our souls, the taste of youth and freedom and possibility and ongoing hope. Please God, it should be a Chag kosher v'sameach, a happy and healthy and kosher Pesach for everyone. It should all be celebrated in good health with family and friends. Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach.